What's up, YouTube? It's your boy JB, and I'm here with a new show that I'm adding to the review slot. This is Love After Lockup. This is season 2. This is episode 24, and the episode is titled Inmate or Soulmate. Man, I see now why Ashley, every time she comes on camera, she's laughing, because this shit right here is fucking hilarious. But without further ado, you guys, we're just going to go ahead and just get right into the video. Alright, so the first person we meet is Cheryl. She's with Josh. So, Josh robbed the bank. And, I'm guessing Cheryl met him on a dating app, a website for inmates. And Cheryl is talking about how, they just made a big deal out of him robbing a bank. He robbed a fucking bank. Like, that is a big deal. And then, Cheryl is weird as hell. So Cheryl lets us know the way that she found Josh is because she has an infatuation with serial killers. And she said when she tells people that she, has a thing for has an infatuation for serial killers, people look at her like she's crazy. And I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. You doing a paper on serial killers? What the fuck? So, she says, she saw Josh and she said Josh had to be perfect. I said, perfect, but he's in jail. Okay, if you say so. So then her sister asked her, like, are you worried he might steal from you when he gets out of jail? Like, he might get desperate. He could steal from you. She says, no, he wouldn't steal from me. She says he steals from people that he believes deserve it. The community and drug dealers. And your dumb ass, on top of that, he would steal from. I was like, oh my God, this girl, like, she got to be pulling my leg. And, when she said when he robbed the bank, his disguise to rob the bank, I said, so he took a cue from Set It Off. She said he robbed the bank with the wig, a long blonde wig with bangs. So when the bank tellers described him, they said it was a fat woman with long blonde hair, and she was tall. So, and she's talking about how that, him robbing the bank just turned her on. I'm like, man, it is something wrong with Cheryl. Like, Cheryl's elevator don't ding at the top floor. Like, it's seriously something wrong with Cheryl. So then her sister asked her, so actually her sister is not here for him because her sister is a correctional officer. So, she sees the ins and outs of the prison system, and she sees how the inmates will flip, use, and manipulate people to get what they want. So then she asked Cheryl, like, how much did you spend on this man? Cheryl said she spent $30,000. And that's not even the worst part about it. Cheryl has 3 fucking kids, and I'm like, damn. So her sister said the same thing that I said. Like, you could have put that $30,000 on a down payment for a house. And Cheryl's like, she's not worried about a house. She's in love. I'm like, oh my God. Like, you are really stupid. You not worried about a house? Okay. So then her sister, asked her, does she want to marry Josh? And she said yes. That she wants to marry him. She said, you're stupid. I was like, oh. At least that's something actually, me and her sister agreed on everything. Like, Cheryl is stupid. She ain't stupid. The bitch is crazy. So then we see how really stupid Cheryl is. So Cheryl is, talking to her friend about Josh. She's going on and on and on about Josh. And her friend is like, but he robbed a bank. Like, how do you know he won't do this? Like, how do you know he won't do something to you? So then, she has to break the news to her mom and her dad. So her daddy is definitely 100% out open for this. Like, everybody in the family feels the same way. Like, this dude robbed a bank. Why are you putting so much faith in him? Like, he could get drunk one night and just go rob a bank, rob you. Like, I don't know why Cheryl's putting so much faith in him. So then Cheryl breaks it to him that, hey, I'm going to Colorado to get him. And, her daddy was like, well, where are the kids going to stay? She's like, with you guys? He says, daddy is over her leaving the kids with them. So then, she tells him that she wants to marry him, once he gets out. And her mom and dad was like, why don't you at least wait 9 months to a year? She's like, I cannot do that. He was like, and her daddy made a point, but he was in jail. You had to wait when him been in jail. And he was like, well, if you do that, guess what? your daddy, he's not walking you down the aisle. I'm like, well, damn, Cheryl. And you gonna marry a man that not one person in your family is here for? You got to be the stupidest person I've ever saw in my life. Actually, I think all these people are dumb. Like, God, desperation. And actually, we about to get into desperation at its finest. All right, so next we meet Vincent, who's in with his girlfriend Amber. So he gets a call from Amber, and Amber tells him, "Hey, baby, guess what? I'm getting out on Tuesday." He's like, "You are? Okay, so that means I got to come down to Atlanta." So Vincent tells us that before he even met with actually technically he's never met Amber. He's never met Amber face to face. But what he did do was he wrote 10 letters to 10 different inmates, and I'm guessing whichever one stuck. That was the one he would try to talk to. Well, Amber wrote him back. And again, like I said, he's never met Amber face to face. So, he's talking to his mama. His mama's name is Sandy. And, he's telling her, that Amber's gonna go stay with her prison wife's at a house that her prison wife's mom have. What was her name? Piggy? Puppy, that's her name. Puppy. And then his mom was like, what about her family? He says, oh, yeah, so, yeah, her mom. Her mom is in jail with her as well for drug trafficking. His mom was like, they're in there together for drug trafficking. What drugs? He said methamphetamines. I was like, well, God. You know what that reminds me of Orange is the New Black with the the Diaz family, Aleda and Daya. They gave me those two T's. But they in jail for drug trafficking. So, he's telling his mama that he's gonna have to go to Atlanta to pick her up. I think he said she was gonna stay in Douglasville. So his mom's like, okay, well, I don't want to go with you because I want to meet this girl and I want to meet her face to face and I want to see if I feel like she's right for you. Well, Vincent's not quite sure about that one. But we do see Vincent, he finally goes to Atlanta and he's waiting there. He gets to the jail about 8 o'clock in the morning, and it was after I think like 10:27 when she finally came out. And I'm like, but you don't know what she looked like, but I'm guessing she's gonna be the only inmate coming out of the prison. So, he meets her, and, when he kissed her, I thought the same thing that Emma said. I'm like, that was very, very awkward. Because he just grabbed her face, and I'm like, okay. I'm not even going to say what I was going to say. I'm going to move on. All right, so next we were introduced to Andrea and Lamondre. So, Andrea, she has 3 kids as well. She has her own sunglass company that she models for and everything. So, she has like I said, she has 3 kids. She has a boy and 2 girls. So she was combing her little boy's hair. I'm like, but he doesn't have enough hair to comb. Why don't you just brush little homies' hair out? So, she's telling him that he's gonna stay with his grandma for the night because she's going out with her sister. I think she said she's the oldest or the youngest of 6. She might be the oldest of 6 or the middle of 6, something like that. Forgot what she said. But, she's telling her mama, I'm going out with the girls, we're going out for drinks. And she's telling us that she got a secret that she's had for 2 years that she needs to tell her sisters. So then we meet Lamondre. Lamondre is like a drug kingpin. I wasn't reading all them articles about him, but I was counting them mugshots. I counted up to 9 different mugshots of Lamondre. And then Lamondre got them, I can't talk about teeth, but Lamondre's teeth with them gold fronts with all them spaces in between. I'm like, oh my God. First, and then let's talk about Andrea's wigs. Like, the hair on the side, it was all crunchy and shit. I'm like, man. And then when she went to meet her sisters at the restaurant, the wind kept blowing her hair back. And you can see right here, it's like the wig was just lifting. I'm like, man, if you don't get some glue, some tape, something to apply that wig better, like, you guys to do better with the wigs, with the wig application. So Andrea lets us know that she met Lamondre because she knows a cousin of his, and he wanted to talk to her. So, she ended up giving the cousin her address, and that's when he wrote her. So, Lamondre says that he spent about $18,000 on her from prison. And I was confused, like, so you in jail for drug trafficking, you fancy yourself, Scarface, drug kingpin, but you spent $18,000. Where do you have the money hidden at? And why hasn't she bought herself a good looking wig? Questions that needs to be answered. Then he drops this little gem on us. He thinks that she and him can be bigger than J and B. Yes, Jay-Z and Beyonce. I said, damn, your standards are all the way up here. Your standards should be all the way down here. So Jay-Z and Beyonce here. You got, I'm going to say Ike and Tina right here. Y'all ain't even at Ike and Tina's level. Y'all far below Ike and Tina's level. Way below Ike and Tina. And Ike and Tina wasn't that good at all. But y'all far below those two. So, so then we do see her with her sisters. And she tells her sisters that she's engaged. And she's engaged to a convict. And they like, and then she says, yeah, y'all might know him. It's Lamondre. And they like, oh, hell no. And then that one sister, her name was Katrina. First of all, why was her wig so far back? Her hair was so far back, but then it wasn't even the fact that her hair was so far back and she had a really big forehead. That wasn't a big issue. It was that invisible part on the side, and it was not invisible. That part was hella visible. Like, oh my God, that invisible part. So, she's telling them, like, Lamondre is nothing like what y'all see on the news. And they like, the fuck you mean by that? And, they tell her, like, that's a big step. Like, that is he could be lying to you. She's like, and they, they talking about what they saw on the news. She's like, don't believe what the news is telling you. He's a good person. That's what he's telling you. But again, your sister's going out for the news. So then the sister Katrina, the one that has the invisible part, she went and called a mama. And then the mama shows, and Andrea's like, wait a minute, you supposed to be with my son. She's like, yeah, but your sister Katrina called me and told me what you doing, and I don't agree with it. So, looks like we're gonna have issues with each family when it comes to the jailbirds. Like, don't seem like not one family is for the jailbird at all. All right, so next we got Lacey and John. So there's a running trend with these women on this show. So far, Andrea has 3 kids. Lacey has 3 kids. And if you guys remembered, Cheryl had 3 kids. But Lacey is an interesting one. So Lacey is a cam model. Basically, the bitch does, porn. And she has a thing for jailbirds. So one of her ex-boyfriends is in jail. Her ex-husband's in jail. And John, her current fiance, is in jail. Now, John has not been, John wasn't in jail when they got together. John went together after they got together. And John went to jail for some of the dumbest fucking reasons. So first time he went to jail in 2017 was because he sold drugs to an undercover cop. I'm not judging that, right? I'm not going to judge that. But he got out and went back 2 weeks later because he had possession of a firearm. Now that's when I'm judging. Like, nigga, you really was that stupid and careless to get caught with a fucking firearm only 2 weeks after you got out of jail. What the fuck? So then we see Lacey's dad. And Lacey's dad, she's like, you remember how I thought I lost my engagement ring? Well, I found it. He's like, so you really want to be engaged to him? She's like, yes. Her daddy is not here for the bullshit. Like, not here for her bullshit. Yeah. And then, she's talking about how John's gonna move in. Her dad's like, move in where? Here? With you and your kids? She's like, yes. It's like, no. Absolutely not. And her daddy said the same thing that Cheryl's dad said to her. If you marry him, your daddy is not walking you down the aisle. I'm like, God damn. And she was crying, talking about, but I'm his only child. He should want to walk me down the aisle. Well, if your daddy don't agree with you marrying a jailbird, no. He ain't gonna do it. Like, no. Okay, so I did leave one thing out with Lacey. So we saw Lacey. Lacey was in her car, and John called her. So she's on the phone with him caking, and then she's talking about I'm getting a spray tan for you, babe. So she goes in to get a spray tan, and I'm like, are you getting a spray tan for your man? She's like, yeah, I'm getting a spray tan for my man. So then she gets another phone call, and it's from the correctional facility. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, she just hung up with him. You can't call him back. How the hell is he calling you back? Oh no, it wasn't him calling her back. It was her other man that she met named Shane, who is 21 years old. Shane is in jail for malicious wounding. And, she said she met Shane when, she got into it with John. And she just went on to one of those inmate websites and found him. I'm like, oh, so you really do have a thing for inmates. Like, damn, that's sad as fuck. So, she's actually getting a spray tan for Shane, who was getting out the next day. And then, she got to figure out what to do because, John gets out in 2 more weeks. I'm like, you got a conundrum right there, my nigga. Like, damn. You really got to think for inmates. Crazy. No wonder your daddy don't want to stand up for you at your wedding. Shit. I don't blame him. The fuck? All right, and then lastly, there's another couple that we haven't met yet, but other couples. Now we have Angela and Tony. So Angela has been with Tony for a year and a half. I forget what Tony's in jail for. So she says that about 3 months into them, communicating via email and letters, Tony sent her a letter on February 14th, or actually no, he sent her a letter telling her that they would get married on February 14th. I'm like, so he proposed to you via a letter. Desperation, huh? Because I think she's 47, and I think she said I think he's 13 years younger than her. I can be wrong, but I don't remember. So she's talking to her friend Brenda, who sounds like she smokes like 3 cartons of cigarettes a day, and so Brenda was in jail. So basically, what it is Brenda trying to keep what's her Angela up on game. She don't want her to get conned because she know that people will write to these prison pen pals, use them for everything they can get out of them, and then once they get out of jail, cut it off with them. So she don't want to do that, but Angela does not feel that Tony is using her for money or for sex. Well, bitch, you ain't had sex with him. And then she's talking about when he get out of jail, he wants a steak dinner, and but he has to get back to the halfway house by 7:30, and then they trying to figure out what to do about sex. I was like, ugh. Oh God. So, Angela as well has sent money to Tony in prison over a couple of years. She said between $6,000 to $8,000, and then she's a mental health therapist. I said absolutely not. Ain't no way in hell I would take any kind of advice from fucking Cheryl. I mean from Angela. No. This shit is gonna be fun. I'm gonna enjoy reviewing this show. But you guys, that was the first episode. Like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you later.